but still, I love Spyro the Dragon. Childhood game I grew up with. In terms of like the best overall track record, as in always having the best games, not quite, but it's always been a source of fun, mainly for its colorful visuals, those catchy music, all that good stuff. And I've always been a big fan of Spyro the Dragon. Nowadays, Spyro, well, sort of reemerged, but not really. So we have, of course, the Spyro Reignited trilogy, but other than that, nothing really new when it comes to Spyro or the Spyro universe, which is unfortunate. So Spyro, part of Activision, part of Toys for Bob, similar to Crash Bandicoot, and it's insane to think just how intertwined Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon are when it comes to franchises. For starters, the two studios that created them, Naughty Dog and Insomniac Games, definitely good friends, shared an office space back in the day, so they would help each other out with their games and reference each other all the times in their games that you saw it in games like Ratchet and Clank on Insomniac side or Jak and Daxter on Naughty Dog side. But Crash, Spyro first popping up in the 90s. In fact, I think only a year apart, if I'm not mistaken, or a year or two apart. No, about a year apart. Crash 97, Spyro 98, if I'm not mistaken. But so about a year apart. Are both emerging as PlayStation's mascots to stand up to Nintendo's those Italian and Goomba slash Koopa hopping plumber, or so they emerged as that. Changed studios after both studios lost the license to them. The difference being Naughty Dog, the license to Crash was taken away from them. License to Crash a couple different directions they could take it in. The first that a lot of people have asked for, or is essentially a remaster slash reboot slash pretty much finished version of Spyro Into the Dragonfly. The thing about Spyro Into the Dragonfly is it had a lot of ideas and a lot of cool stuff that they wanted to try for it, but it didn't really pan out because of the rush development. And there was supposed to be way more dragonflies, which the dragonflies were supposed to be the main collectible, and they are in the game, but way more dragonflies, way more levels, and it was supposed to have a Ripto Nasty Nork team up. Two of the biggest and most recognizable bad guys for Spyro the Dragon teaming up. That would be really cool to see. I guess the sorceress was just supposed to stay dead, but nevertheless, team up of Ripto and Nasty Nork. That's a really cool idea. Sadly, didn't really pan out that way. Nasty Nork, nowhere to be found in that game. And he did show up in A Hero's Tale, and that was that. But yeah, so Ripto and Nasty Nork team up would have been pretty cool. So that's the direction they can go, or they could go the direction that Crash 4 went, and a brand new story from the ground up. Of course, it did. Of course, Crash 4 did have some elements from previous Crash games, mainly Wrath of Cortex. Excuse me, I cannot talk today. Mainly Wrath of Cortex, such as having different elemental masks, but a Spyro 4, or what would that look like? Like a brand new story. Yeah, I imagine having some collectible, well, because Spyro essentially is a collectathon. On having some collectible, you can even bring back the dragonflies if you want, or have a completely different collectible if you want. But bringing that back, but into a brand new story involving Spyro and friends. In terms of playable characters, there's similar to what we got with the other Spyro games. Could be Spyro, obviously. Hunter, the cheetah. You can even bring back his 4 friends from the Spyro 3 game, that being Sheila the kangaroo, Sergeant Bird the penguin, Bentley the yeti, and Agent 9 the monkey. He could bring them in as playable character. Moneybags, I imagine would make an appearance, but even having him as a playable character, I think, could work, or if done right. Having Bianca, the rabbit, the sorceress's apprentice, if you will, as a playable character, being able to use some of her magic would be pretty cool. We'll maybe bring in another playable character, or I probably don't want to go too overboard with the playable characters, but having a decent amount of fun playable characters, giving them their levels and their time to shine, and you can even do like little bonus levels for them, similar to what they did for Crash 4, Cinder, who first appeared in the Legend of Spyro games, and also appeared alongside Spyro in the Skylanders games. She would be a question mark in terms of playable characters. I wouldn't mind seeing her back, but she definitely would be a bit of a question mark. But having that, and probably having some Sparks levels, I imagine probably similar to what they did with the original Spyro trilogy. Or you can even possibly, if done right, have like the kind of on-rail shooter that they did for him in A Hero's Tale. But yeah, so similar to those ideas, what would the story look like? You could introduce a brand new villain, and you could repurpose a villain that was in a previous Spyro game that essentially reset now that we had the Reignite trilogy. Or you could still have the Ripto Nasty Nork team up, because that on paper is, I think, would be a good idea, again, if done right. But I trust Toys for Bob. They managed to pull it off with Crash 4. I can see them doing it again with Spyro here, or if they did do a Spyro 4, and I imagine it'd be fun, and they could even keep a lot of the designs for Reignited. It maybe tweaked slightly, perhaps, but otherwise having the base design about like the designs for the Spyro characters that they did in the Reignited trilogy is they work so well. They have some realistic tendencies to them, but